to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be learning about the while loop, right? And we all know that the while loop is used to repeat a block of code over and over and over again until it does not satisfy a condition. You always specify some Boolean expression. If it's false, then we'll exit out of that loop, the while loop. Okay, so let's take a look at an example. So I'm going to initialize a variable, an integer type. Now let's call it I, and you'll set this equal to 0. Okay, and here's the while loop. So while true. Okay, now we need the parentheses here. So after the while loop, we need the parentheses. So while true, and then we will have to create these curly braces, and this is the code that the while loop will read, and they may repeat the code over and over and over again. So this is an infinite loop because this while loop will always be true. So the program will read this code from top to bottom. Okay, and it's going to say, okay, we initialize a variable, then it's going to enter this while loop, and it'll never exit out of that while loop unless we specify. So let's say we want to output to the console, and we want to insert this I variable. Alright, integer I, and then we want to end the line. Okay, and then I'm just going to increment I using I++. I++ is the same thing as I equals I plus 1. We're incrementing I by 1 each time. Okay, so let's see what this happens. Let's see what will happen. So I'm going to run the code, and as you can see, my computer is now processing these numbers. It's counting from 1 to essentially infinity. Yeah, you can see it's an infinite loop. It's going to keep on going over and over and over again. Okay, because this is true. It's always true. The condition is always true. Okay, let me click cancel out of this. Let's just say, instead of while true, let's say while I is less than, I don't know, what do you want to count to? Let's do 10,000 maybe. And you can see we run the program and it counts to 10,000 pretty quickly, and it's done. That's some pretty cool stuff. All the way from 0 to 10,000. Okay, so we can do while I is less than or equal to 10,000, and now we'll print from 0 all the way to 10,000 that quickly. Okay, so if we trace the code, we initialize a variable I equal to 0 at the top. Then we enter this while loop. It's going to say, okay, is I less than is equal or equal to 10,000? Is 0 less than 10,000? Of course it is. So enter this loop. You'll output 0 to the screen, create a new line, and then we'll increment I at the end. So now I becomes 2. Is 2 less than 10,000? Sorry. So now it becomes 1 because 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 is less than 10,000. Yes, it's going to keep repeating this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's going to keep repeating this until it gets to 10,000. And then it's going to output to the screen, and then 10,001 is obviously greater than 10,000, so it will exit out of that loop. And that's what we have here. It exits out of the loop. It's going to go to the cin.get, and we just press enter. There you go, that's the code. So that's essentially how this while loop works. Okay, let's look at one more example with the while loop before we move on to another lesson. Okay, so here's the problem. Let me read the problem. Okay, So David's workout is to do 10 push-ups, but instead of doing it all at once, he starts from 1 push-up and increases by 1 push-up each time. So like he does 1 push-up, then 2, then 3, etc., all the way up to 10 push-ups. At the end of the workout, David wonders how much push-ups he did in total. Write a program that determines the total push-ups David did at the end of the workout using the while loop. So let me just initialize an integer. I'm just going to call it push-ups. This is the amount of push-ups you're doing. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? And at first you do 0. You haven't started the workout. Okay, so that's one important variable. Okay, what's the other variable that we need? So here's the push-ups. Well, you want to determine the total push-ups, right? The sum of all the push-ups. So we have to also create another variable called sum. Okay, sum or total equals to 0. Okay? So this is, think of this as before the workout. You can use our comments here. Before the workout, you have done 0. You've done nothing at all. Okay? Now when we start doing the workout, we enter this while loop. While loop, okay? Alright, so this is during the workout. So what do you think will go in the parentheses? What's our condition here? So this will keep on running until we've completed the workout, right? So until the number of push-ups I do, push-ups is less than 10. So the push-ups I do is less than 10. That's our condition. Actually less than or equal to 10, because I'm doing 10, I'm doing the last push-up. Alright? That's our condition, that's the workout. And what are we doing here? Okay, well, what we're doing is first, as soon as we enter our loop, we will do 1 push-up. So push-ups will be incrementing by 1 each time. So push-ups plus plus. Okay? So this is you doing the nth push-up. Okay, so for example, when you enter this workout, you do the first push-up, then you do the second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. Alright, after this, imagine that while you're doing your push-ups, you have someone on the side recording and totaling the total push-ups you do. So like 1, then you do 2, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. So in the while loop, this will take the form of the total. So what we want to do is we want to say total will be equal to the push-ups I do. Let me see here. Total will be the push-ups I do, right? Plus total. So what are we doing here? We are incrementing total. So first total is 0, and the push-ups, let's say do 1, then total becomes 1, and then etc. is going to keep incrementing each time. So another way of saying this is plus equals push-ups. Alright? Plus equals push-ups. So then, once we have that total, let's output it to the screen here after the while loop. So I'm going to output cout. Let's see, so this is David, right? I think it's David. Yeah, it's David. Okay, so let's just say David has done total push-ups. Push-ups. Okay. So let's see if this works, okay? And afterwards, I'll trace the code for you. So let's run this program. And David has done 66 push-ups. Let me make it less than 10. I'll explain why later. So he has done 55 push-ups, okay? So if you go right now and do 10 push-ups, like one after the, so you, and then you increment each time, you'll do 55 push-ups in total. Okay, so let me just trace the code for you, so you know what's happening. So first, we create a variable called push-ups. Think of this as before the workout. We have done 0 push-ups, the total is 0. Now, as we do the workout, the total push-ups is less than 10, so then it'll increment each time. So you do 1 push-up, then the total is just 1, right? Then we do 2 push-ups, the total will all be incrementing the 2, so it'll be 2 plus 1, which is 3. And this will keep repeating until push-ups is equal to 10. Once it's equal to 10, then it'll exit this loop. Alright? And the reason why this is not this, the reason why I remove this equal sign is because once it reaches 10, it's going to increment. So it's going to say, once it reaches 9 push-ups, it's going to increment, and it's going to add that to the total, okay? So that's why.